It's the 1878 Casuals. I'm Sinatra. I got the maddest of faces and Hollywood Patchmore. Just the three of us. We're previewing the match against
Big club.
Bitter Blue Birdie Magoo, the Derby. All right, boys, let's get into it. My first question is: so we've seen the international break. We're done with that. First question is: how did the boys do, and did anybody play themselves into the team? Let's go ahead and get onto it.
I'll take the lead. I don't think. Oh yes, someone played themselves onto it. I watched Casemiro today. Let me tell you something. This is going to happen here. Are we going to be a big club or think like a big club? We love Scotty. Scotty needs to be Casemiro. The man did 4 passes today. Scotty don't even have the vision to do yet. Okay, I watched this man's 90 minutes. I was like, this is what we need. A mature midfielder who controls the game, who goes and gets the ball. He doesn't hide and give passing. No. He goes and gets the ball. He initiates play. He gets it going. He's a defender who, oh my Lord, his slide tackles are brilliant. He knows how to get to the ball and then the player slides, take him off his feet, get up, Poppy, good game. And he's magnificent. We need him to play this week because we've got Kevin De Bruyne City. I'm not even, you know what the worst thing about this? Oh, no, you said who played in. We're good. I'm going to say Casemiro did. I'm just leave it at that. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I agree. Casemiro, obviously Champions League winner, has got that seasoned mind. He's seen a lot, more games with difficult opponents. Like, he's playing Real Madrid, he's played Barcelona, he's played Bayern, he's played all the top teams in Europe, and McTominay hasn't done that yet. I don't think, because he hasn't played well. Yes, he did play in Champions League with us, but I feel like, Casemiro's has won five Champions League finals, and he's been to more than that. So it's like, Casemiro's got the experience. He's got that proper. He's the type of dude that dictates the play and can still make the passes. Like he's a proper Brazilian.
What about Luke Shaw? Did Luke Shaw find his way into the 11? He looked pretty good for England. Or are we still going with Malacia? Because Malacia looked just as good for the Netherlands too.
I was going to say, I think it's not broken, so don't fix it. I mean, the strongest 11 that we have available to us, that we beat Liverpool with, that we beat Arsenal with, why would we change that? So, like, we know that City play a different style than Liverpool, but City's also, if we're not careful, they can play right through us. So, everybody's got to be on the same page. We, obviously don't want to be too compact because we know they like to play it out wide. They have some dangerous wingers. So, I mean, everybody's got to be on the same page. And for me, that means the boys that have played the most matches on the big stage together. So, like I said, whichever one of the guys is available to us that were available for the Liverpool and Arsenal games, those are guys you got to play. Perhaps with the exception of Casemiro in for Scotty, but again, like Scotty's been getting stuck in, and he it seems like a lot of these guys are developing into what we hoped they were going to develop into, and Ten Hag is bringing that out of them. So I feel like, players like Dalot and who we thought was done and dusted before the season started. And, like I said, Scotty, even Rashford, Sancho's starting to look like the player we wanted. So, you got to play all those guys. You just got to.
I personally, I understand what you're saying about Scotty. But one thing, I think a wise man said to me, you don't break up a good defense. If you got a good back four, you don't break that up. You never break that up. I want Luke Shaw to challenge because I know there's a player in him. And he showed it what he did with England he scored. He showed skill. But that back four right now, we can't break that up. Not this game. Not this game. I'm even going to say, I'm going to piggyback on what you said. All of our players look so sharp. They look so technical. I think it's the training that they're getting out. Even if you watch what Scotty did for his team, he was by far the best player on the field. He was just pressing the ball and doing stuff. I was like, oh my God, Scotty looks good with his country passing the ball. But that is Ten Hag. We're getting coached up. We're finding out now we have good players and we have talent. They just weren't getting coached.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Casemiro has to play. He has to be a part of this game. I'm sorry I went back to that. But Luke Shaw looks good. I want Luke Shaw to challenge Malacia, but this is not the game.
So
Yeah, it's not the game to take a risk on.
So the best news coming out of the international break, besides everybody's looking good, is that there was no injuries, right? Nobody came away injured. It was a little scary with Ronaldo getting hit in the face.
That's probably the best part of the whole fucking thing, because usually at least one of our or two of our boys comes back from international break injured.
I was watching Varane like, nigga.
Yeah, yeah. Better be careful. We need you on Sunday.
And he said he wasn't playing that last game. I was like, I checked the injury report. Is Varane there? Why is he not playing? And they're like, oh no, they're just resting him. Oh, good. And I was like, don't you play him?
Yeah.
Don't you play him?
So as a team that likes to dictate, the ball, the pace, all that kind of stuff, this is a game that's opening up for us to play like how we want to play on the counterattack. So what I'm hearing from both of you guys is that we need to stick with the same 11, the same strengths that won against Arsenal, that won against Liverpool, that all these things.
We'll be mad. I won't be mad if it's the same 11.
I will. Well,
I will.
No, I was going to say the only difference is going to be that Rashford's injured right now, so it's not going to be Rashford.
But it looks like Martial might be coming into the 11, right? Like he's
even better.
It said that he had a hamstring or Achilles or something, but then it said a few days. So my hope is, if the first day he's not training is till Thursday or Friday, is he really going to get into the starting 11? Huh?
He got hurt again?
Well, he had some Achilles or hamstring thing. But on the injury list, today it said a few days. So it means hopefully he's training by Thursday or Friday. But if that's the case, I don't know if he probably won't start. I'm thinking it's going to be Ronaldo, because I don't really think, aside from Kyle Walker, who does City have that's really super quick? I don't know. They've got
new fullbacks. They've got new fullbacks. They've got that Cancelo guy. They've got
but they're not super fast. Like, they're not like that team isn't renowned for their speed like Liverpool or
it's a different look. It's a different looking City. We'll get to City. My last question at least on the United front is, so this is our first league game in quite a while, right? How much does that play into it, that the Queen's passing and some of the events around that, kind of threw a wrench into the schedule there. So we were only really playing Europa League games, and we've missed 2 consecutive league games where we weren't really able to play our best 11 like we would like to, right? We had to play them against like Sheriff, where normally we probably wouldn't have played our best 11 against Sheriff. Does that factor into it, or does it not matter now that we've had the international break and everybody's kind of starting from zero again?
I think all our players look good. They look sharp. They look everything. I didn't see anyone play bad. So I'm fully confident that Ten Hag is going to get us, because what I'm hearing, our practices are harder than the games anyway. So what I'm hearing, I'm fully confident our gaffer is going to have us ready to compete on the highest level. He's a man of serious business, and I'm not worried about it at all. I think more time with Ten Hag, more time practicing enough. Ten Hag, they want to play.
Yeah, they want to play for him.
We're not worried about Stockport.
Yeah, and I think with the exception of Rashford and Sancho, all of our starting 11 played a couple international games these last couple weeks, so they're still getting their games in, and they're still match fit and stuff like that. So I think the plus side is maybe they got a couple extra days rest or something like that, and they'll come out pretty fresh on Sunday. I don't know if there's any other Nations League games to play before week's end, or if it's done and dusted.
I think everybody's. I think it's
Saturday-
time to. I think it's time for everybody to come back for the club team. I mean, obviously, we've had some guys that didn't go away with the international teams, right? And so I think those guys have kept in training for the most part, and then everybody should be back. But it's
I
still a
think
quick
Sancho-
turnaround. It's still a quick turnaround. But now
I
that
think
we're, what's up? Go ahead.
Well, I think I was going to say I think Sancho was the only one that was able to still train and because he's not injured. But I think the rest of our starting 11 went to play for their respective international teams.
Did De
I can't think
Gea,
of
De
any-
Gea
any-
went away with Spain? Did De Gea go
No,
with
he didn't
Spain?
go to Spain. No,
Oh, okay, maybe
I don't
not
know.
De Gea. But I know Malacia, Varane, Martinez, Delo.
Did you see my last interview?
Yeah, Delasi
Say
was
what?
playing like center half for the Dutch also this weekend.
Yeah,
I'll
which
get
is
in
interesting.
with it.
Which is interesting. I like that. Van Gaal showed us something like, oh, so we don't have to play Harry Maguire every game. That's what you're saying.
Well, and Van
Okay.
Hall likes to tinker like that. He'll throw you in. He doesn't
Does-
care.
You could bring it. What if what's the guy? What's Luke Shaw and we can fuck with shit, but on Malacia tape, he had an interview today, and he was like, he was surprised how big a club we were. He said he's never seen anything like that before. He said he knew he went to the right club. He said what from the tour, he's like, I've never seen anything like this.
And what do they
He's
give?
like-
What tour do they give at City? They're just like, oh yeah, the big stadium. We don't really fill it up though. Oh
Who
yeah,
did he
we
stop
got
for?
state of the art training pitch, but you know.
They say there's usually about 20,000.
Terrorism money.
Yeah, here's
Terrorism money.
Here's where we keep track of all the oil
Give it
stock. That's the key part of the tour.
Let's not do that. Let's not go there. I have a lot of good friends that are Taliban. I mean,
All right, now
Saudi Arabia.
let's talk about City, even though we don't want to, even though it's disgusting and it hurts our soul. Talk about it. Let's talk
Kicking
about
the
them.
blue.
I need to hear it. I need to hear honest, unbiased opinions on the fucking smush face lad, Erling Haaland.
Go ahead, Patsy.
He's going to be difficult to deal with. Whether you're a good player or not, the biggest players in all the leagues have trouble with that guy. He's super, super quick. He's super, super strong. He's like a more bendable Zlatan. He's just like a younger Zlatan. He just does. He'll throw his foot in the air at the ball and try to
Bendable.
score. Yeah, he's
You know the one.
He's Stretch Armstrong. He's Stretch Armstrong's Zlatan.
yeah, exactly.
Come on,
So,
babe. I need you to be more bendable.
whatever the proper word is. Yeah, no, but
No, I love
it. He's going to be difficult. But I think Varane has the mental fortitude and experience to deal with a player like that because he's played against all the best strikers in the world. And then Martinez is going to,
Get under his skin, right? He's gonna get under his fucking skin, isn't he?
I think Martinez is going to try to bully him, biting at his ankles and shit. So he might. I mean, there's obviously a possibility that Haaland could put one or two past us, but I think Varane and Martinez are going to come with a game plan, and certainly Ten Hag. That's going to be the focal point. I mean, obviously Erling Haaland's been City's best player for the season. He's got a stupid amount of goals already. So if we can contain Haaland, then the biggest threat of the team is neutralized, and then you just kind of go from there.
14 goals in 9 games is like that's what you do on FIFA, right? Like that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
He ain't playing us. Fuck that Ross clock. Listen. This is what's going to go on. I think City is a lot easier to stop now than their previous teams because they're so focused on getting the ball to Haaland, and they're not letting their other guys get their momentum or their machismo or their form. Because what's the dude who played for England, the young dude who plays for City?
Foden.
He's shit right now. I don't understand what has he done this year?
Right.
I may want to talk about that England squad.
It's been the Erling Haaland show at City. It's been the Erling Haaland show.
They're so focused and keen on getting the ball. I think they're a lot easier to stop now because we used to have to deal coming from all directions. Now it's just like, oh, Haaland, and we got this. So we got him around. It's like, okay, I will watch his every move and I'll shadow him, and then And I was like, I've got this little pit bull right here. Ah! Go get him. Go get him. Go get him, Martinez. I'm going to hold the pit bull back. We're going to set that motherfucker. He's going to be right here in this corner and say, like, what you want to do? What you want to do? I did this before.
Biting at his
So
shirt
let
and
me do it
shit.
again.
Yeah.
I'm,
Biting his.
I think they're easier to stop. I'm really confident for this game. I think they're going to expose themselves early because we're going to push the ball. We're going to get the ball upfield because our midfield can do that now. And if you make a mistake, that guy we call named Erickson is going to be there to punish you with a pass over the top to somebody. And what are you going to do when Erickson's on fire? Did you see him play, by the way, in his internationals? Oh,
Yeah, Erickson was money. He was money. He may have been the best player of all players in the international
oh,
break.
Dion. Who?
Yeah.
But, I'm really confident. I think we're going to do well. I like that we can score from any side. We got Sancho, Cristiano. I love that. I hope Martial's back into the fold. Oh, I forgot about the crazy Brazilian we got, that Anthony kid. I don't think we're ready. I don't think teams are ready for what we have going right now. Because we were with the banter team for what, maybe a few weeks.
Well, it's starting to.
There we go.
Okay.
You're back on there? Okay.
Cool.
I think we lost you for a second.
Are you muting people?
No,
Yeah, right.
it's my internet.
I think you muted me one time, motherfucker.
I did one time. You were sneezing, and like I didn't know if you were gonna stop or not.
Don't mute, man. Okay, ever.
We don't want to hear
Even
like sneeze.
We're gonna talk about that Sunday about your muting. Don't mute everybody else, but don't mute me. I take it personally.
Even the sneezes are important. No, but yeah, I think we're gelling as a team. We're playing like a proper team, and I think for the first time since the last couple years or so, there's reason to be a little more fearful when they know when teams are playing us. And there's the crazy thing about this season is there's no real runaway team for the league. So it's like, everybody's playing kind of shit, but still pretty good. So it's like, if we keep doing what we're doing under Ten Hag and developing and another thing, again, like they look like they want to be there. They look like they want to play. They look like, hey, we're playing for Man United. We need to fucking play. That feels different too in a great way. So, and especially, are we playing them home or away?
This is at the council house.
It's home wherever we go. It's home wherever we go.
All right. Well,
it's Stockport.
Because Bandito's got a jib in, right? There's no tickets. So Bandito,
Right.
It's a jib.
I believe in Bandito.
With the rest of the strange guys, it's a jib ting into the fucking council estate. All right, so enough of the bullshit. So with City, obviously they look a little one-track, right? One-dimensional right now, but this is still a dangerous team, even though it's like a little different look team, right? Raheem Sterling's gone. They got Kira Knightley that's playing a little more, but Kira, that's not Kira from Aston Villa Kira,
Not.
It's not Aston Villa Kira.
No. Yeah, no, I mean, we can't be disillusioned with ourselves. They're still a very, very good and very, very tough team. And it's going to be a really tough game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a draw. And I would take that, to be honest with you. But
honestly, if you go on to and read like the City fan channels, and I mean you would think that Haaland has already scored, right? Like they expect that fool to score every game. Like they think he's going to end up with 100 goals. Like this, he's already Messi, he's already Ronaldo for them. How great would it be to burst that bubble? Because here's something interesting. Do you know the only team that Haaland hadn't scored on so far this year is Bournemouth. So shout out to our boy Jason from Bournemouth, right? So
English. One of them called English.
The man called English, straight out of Bournemouth.
007.
You can't get none past him. You can't get none past the Cherries. So
listen, they haven't played the best team in the league yet.
So what are the key matchups then? Obviously, stopping Haaland is job one, right? That's job one. But they've
And
still got Bernardo Silva. They've still got
he doesn't
Home
start anymore though.
Alone.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the
I mean,
last game he was playing like deep. They had him as like the regista. He was back there doing like Pirlo shit. I was like, what are they
okay.
doing? That was some wild shit. But Pep overthinks it. Pep dreams of little footballs floating in the sky. So who the fuck knows what he's gonna do?
I would put Scotty on De Bruyne and then let Casemiro sit in front of the defense and make those passes. Because you still got Eriksen, you still got Bruno, you still got Anthony, you got Ronaldo, you got Sancho. There's players you can feed it to.
How's Scotty and Casemiro gonna play?
How's Scotty and Casemiro going to play?
For me, this is a Scotty game. For me, I think we need a guy that's aggressive like Scotty that's going to come out there. Not to say that Casemiro isn't, but like Scotty's proven in Manchester derbies, right?
Yeah, he is. He did have that blinder against
Ederson. He's already shit on Ederson. He still has that nightmare. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
McTominay's coming again. So for me, it's almost like a perfect game for Scotty to slot in.
I mean, yeah, you could start Scotty, and then I'm seeing the scoreline as 2-1 us, and so in that second half at like 65th, 70th minute, bringing Casemiro to play a little more defense and sit back there, bringing Casemiro for Scotty.
And here's another thing that we didn't even talk about as far as the international break. Like, knock on wood, we had no injuries, right? I mean, the Ronaldo thing was scary, but like Stones is probably out, right? And he's the best defender that City have. I know they got Laporte, but like he's only good when he's not broken, and he's broken always. And so he's out. They've got Ake, that was at Bournemouth, right? He was at Bournemouth before, but he's not, he's not really all bad. He's not the player that they acted like he was when they signed him instead of us.
He doesn't even have rude boy dreads. His dreads is 210. You need them. He's not even a rude boy.
They signed somebody else at center half that I don't even know who the fuck it is.
They have Ruben Diaz. He's like
Diaz. They've got him still.
That's Ruben Diaz.
And they also have Rodri. And I think he plays.
But Rodri's like the replacement for Fernandinho. He'll play like in the midfield.
They have one of the guys. I don't know if it's Cancelo or Rodri. I think it's one of the two that play in the back.
Do they have Mendy?
Yeah, well, no, Mendy's he's a rapist. He's locked in too.
You said that. Oh, you're bad. You called him a rapist.
Well, that's the thing that's pissing me off is like
that he's a rapist.
Mason fucking Greenwood gets all of the press off of just the one case, whether it's true or not. And Mendy's got what, like 7-8 rapes on his ass, and he's still on the fucking City squad. No one's like, oh, they're still paying Mendy. Oh, they're paying Mendy's on the team. So people have contracts. So I mean, it's shit. But yeah, they still got that rapist.
Mason's another video. We got to do this because
I didn't expect Jason to ask the question about Mason the last time, so I was unprepared for my full thoughts on Mason Greenwood.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not go into that right now. We got to say that for another video because I've been talking to some people about Mason.
So anyway, Manchester City, we know what they're about. All right, we know the plastic. We know that this is the only game the stadium's going to be filled. So we're confident.
You fucking sure?
We're confident. Our old man, we already told him, bollocks off, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
So honest to God score predictions. Honest. I want them.
Well, I think it's going to be 2-1. I think it's going to be
2-1.
It's going to be like, I mean, City's going to throw everything at it. If we're leading 2-1 at like the 70th minute, those last 20 minutes for us are just going to be smacking balls away out of our 18.
Well, in the first 20 minutes, right? The first 20 minutes are going to be crucial too, right? I expect them to come off the blocks. Like, let's go ahead and try to nick one or two and get them flustered.
It's the same. It's the same like with the Arsenal game or the Liverpool game. If they score first and they score early, I mean, but again, we don't know. We're not sure the mentality of the the Ten Hag side. You know, do they have that sort of comeback kings attitude? My instinct says yes, just because of how we've been playing. And like I said, it seems like they want to be there and they want to play. But yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1. I think Ronaldo gets a cheeky one, and maybe Anthony.
Like that. Like that. I believe that we're gonna score early. I believe that we're going to make it. I like that we get cards early, like someone to get a fucking card early and be like, it's the type of game we do now out here. I like that. I like we're physical early, and then we play smart. I like that. So I feel I like 2-1 too.
Because you know they're gonna try to. You know they'll possibly score. You just can like feel it. All right, we're gonna concede one, but we just need to score more.
I feel like we're gonna go up 2-0 and they're gonna get one late, and we're gonna be like,
right. And we're just gonna.
I just feel Haaland's gonna be under so much pressure and just a lot of it, like.
You know, I hate to talk about. I hate to talk about
call us pre-game and say, you don't let him score. He's not me. And we're going to do it for them.
I hate to talk about referees because it's shit. But Michael Oliver is selected to manage the
Can't do
Derby.
anything about it.
And we know all about Michael Oliver. Do we read anything into that, or is it just this is another game?
That's like if it's going to rain or the wind. Those are elements we can't control. We're just going to do what we do.
I mean, it's not Mike Dean, right? It's not Mike Dean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the statistics will tell you.
Get down, Martinez. Get down, Martinez. Okay.
The statistics will tell you, and you could formulate some sort of assumption from that, is that Oliver has an agenda against United. But, you know, I think if we just play our game, like Casey said, play our game, do what we're supposed to do, take our chances. We need to take our chances because we probably won't get many. So when we do get them, we need to put them away. So the boys need to be sharp. And I think they're sharp enough to put those chances away. But, you know, we just got to play our game. But I hate Michael Oliver. He looks like a little weasel-faced punk. But, you know, it is what it is.
I truly believe we're the fittest team in the league. I truly believe, because if you watch our games, these guys play hard to the end. And I truly believe Ten Hag kicked their asses in preseason. And our practices are hard. And I really believe we're fit. And I just feel like we're going to outlast teams now. We're just going to have quality so long. I'm just impressed. When I saw how all the guys played on their international breaks, I was like, oh, my God. They all look good.
Yeah.
And for their teams, their country, these guys are passing the ball, doing things. I was like, they all led their teams. That's what I want to say. They all were standouts on the international squad. And that's down to Ten Hag.
Yeah, I mean, now's a really good time to play a game like City because you know. I mean, if we had played City first game of the season, I mean, we would have probably lost 6-7-0. But
it would have been like something crazy.
Yeah.
So who's the pressure on coming into this game? Is the pressure on Pep because they're a little bit off pace of Arsenal? They're sitting at second, a point off, or is the pressure on us to keep the momentum going?
Pressure on us. Ten Hag listen. He's like, listen, we're the underdog. We're not supposed to win. Go kick their asses now. Go kick their asses because they're better than you.
I think the pressure's on City because they got to play a resurgent in form Man United. I mean, we're playing, probably some of the best football.
The Scousers and the Gooners would say, man, United is the best team we played.
Yeah.
What's City going to do now? What are they going to say?
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of whining and crying, from the Liverpool fans and from the Arsenal fans.
Why?
After we beat them, because they just didn't, they couldn't handle it, right? Because we've been on the outs for so long that it was an embarrassment for them. Do we think that City may just underestimate us a little bit? Do we think that's a possibility? Because we're a little bit of erratic. I mean, we've played a lot better this year than we have been playing, but it's still what United team is going to show up. I mean, do we think that they may underestimate our style of play a little bit?
I think Pep's a little too smart to underestimate anyone, but I think he won't realize how good we are until we play, but I don't think he'll underestimate us. But I think he'll say, "Oh, they're better than I thought." But I think that's different than underestimating.
I mean, they don't have like we were saying before, they don't have the speed that they once had,
Yeah.
or some of the depth that they once had, and so it's a little bit of a different City team than we're used to, right? They were almost harder to play against when they didn't have a striker because you really weren't quite sure where the goals were going to come from. Now that you know where the goals are going to come from, does that help us set our team up a little bit better?
Hey, we got a minute left, FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Casey.
How do you
Answer
feel that?
Huh?
I've already said it. It makes them easier to play. They play into our hands, actually. If it's something they're trying to get to one guy, he's going to get beat up the whole game. But that's what we do. We beat people up. So
Yeah.
But Pep won't underestimate it either. It's going to be a good match, but 2-1. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. 2-1. 2-1. I think Ten Hag will get the selection right, and we're going to put up a fight. And yeah.
All right. Final thoughts. We hate the blue side. Manchester is always red. It's always been red. It's always going to be red, So Glazers out. Please like and subscribe. We're going to be back with our thoughts on match day. We're going to have the boys. It's going to be a piss up at O'Brien's per usual. To shout out O'Brien's. There's going to be a lot of heads there. It's going to be a party.